You know that feeling, right? You're in the grocery store, you've got a regular apple in one hand, a more expensive organic one in the other, and you're just stuck. It's a moment of confusion so many of us have. Well, that's exactly what we're going to clear up today. What does organic actually mean, and is it really worth the extra cash? This quote from Benner Peak Health just nails it. It's a decision a lot of us face every single week, trying to balance our health, our budget, and maybe even our values, all standing right there in the produce aisle. So let's get some real answers.
Here's our game plan. First, we're going to define what organic actually is, beyond the marketing. Then we'll learn how to decode those USDA labels you see on everything. After that, we'll dive into the real, science-backed differences. Health, cost, the environment, the whole shebang. And finally, we'll talk about how you can make a choice that feels right for you.
Okay, let's jump right in. Before we can even talk about the labels or the debate, we have to get past the buzzword. We need to know what organic officially means. So, right off the bat, the key thing to understand is that organic isn't just about the food itself. It's about the entire system used to grow it. It's a legally defined and regulated process that's all about the health of the whole ecosystem, the soil, the water, and all the living things on the farm. And get this, it's not like a farmer can just decide to go organic overnight. For a piece of land to even be considered for an organic crop, it has to be free from prohibited stuff, like most synthetic pesticides and fertilizers, for 3 full years. It's a huge commitment, kind of like letting the soil detox and reset itself. So, what exactly is prohibited? Well, here are the big ones. The organic rules say no to most synthetic pesticides and fertilizers. Also on the banned list are GMOs, using ionizing radiation to preserve food, and using sewage sludge as fertilizer. And when it comes to livestock, it means no routine antibiotics or growth hormones. Okay, this slide is super important because it clears up something that trips a lot of people up. Organic and natural are not the same thing, not even close. Organic is a legally protected term with strict farming standards that are certified and inspected by the USDA. Natural, on the other hand, is a much looser term. It just means nothing artificial was added to the final product. It says absolutely nothing about how it was grown or raised. So, now that we know what organic means out in the field, let's figure out how all that translates to the different labels we see in the grocery store. Yeah, it turns out it's not a simple one-size-fits-all label. The USDA actually has a few different categories, and once you know them, you'll know exactly what you're buying. This chart breaks it all down. If you see 100% organic, it means literally every single ingredient is organic. Simple enough. Now, the common organic label, the one with the green USDA seal, means at least 95% of the ingredients are organic. Below that, you might see something that says made with organic. That means it's at least 70% organic, but, and this is key, it's not allowed to use that official USDA seal on the front of the package. And if it's less than 70%, the word organic can only pop up on the ingredients list itself. So for that super common organic category, the 95% one, what about that other 5%? Is it just a free-for-all? Nope. Even those ingredients are regulated. They have to be non-GMO, and they have to come from a special USDA-approved list of things that just aren't available in an organic form. All right, let's get to the core of it. We know the rules, we know the labels, but what are the actual tangible differences? This is where we look at the evidence on health, cost, and the environment. This is probably the #1 question on everyone's mind. Am I actually getting more vitamins, more minerals for my money? And the answer, based on major scientific reviews, might surprise you. It's largely no. When you look at the basic nutrient content, things like vitamin C, protein, minerals, organic and conventional foods are pretty much the same. The huge health benefit comes from eating fruits and veggies in the first place, not so much from which kind you choose. Okay, so if it's not really about extra nutrition, what about safety? What about all those chemicals used in farming? And this is where we see the big, proven health advantage. Study after study confirms that choosing organic drastically reduces your exposure to synthetic pesticide residues. Now, while the residue on conventional produce is usually within government safety limits, organic food consistently has way, way lower levels. Beyond our own personal health, there's the health of the planet to consider. And here, organic farming really shines. It's designed to build healthy soil and prevent erosion.
It avoids synthetic fertilizer runoff that pollutes our rivers and lakes, and by not using those broad-spectrum synthetic pesticides, it helps protect really important creatures like bees and other pollinators. But, and you knew there was a but coming, all of those benefits come at a cost. And on average, that cost is about a 50% price increase. This is the number that makes us all pause in the grocery aisle. So why the heck is it so much more? Well, it makes sense when you think about it. The very rules that make it organic, like controlling weeds without chemicals, require more human labor. Crop yields can sometimes be a bit lower. Farmers also have to pay for those certifications and inspections. And without synthetic preservatives or waxes, the food can have a shorter shelf life, which adds costs all along the supply chain. Okay, so with all of this information, how do you actually make a smart decision for yourself? This last part is all about turning this knowledge into a real-world shopping strategy. Look, if prioritizing organic is important to you, it doesn't have to bankrupt you. A huge money saver is buying fruits and veggies when they're in season. Planning your meals ahead of time means less food waste. Buying staples like organic oats or beans in bulk can seriously lower the cost. And hey, even growing a few herbs in your windowsill is a fantastic and cheap way to get fresh organic produce. So ultimately, there's no single right answer here. The point of all this wasn't to tell you what to buy, but to give you the tools to decide for yourself. It's a personal call, a balance between your budget, your worries about pesticides, and your concerns for the environment. And that kind of leaves us with a final, bigger thought. The price on the sticker is one thing, but this whole conversation really begs a much larger question. When we factor in the health of our soil, our water, and our ecosystems, what is the true cost of the food we eat? That's something worth chewing on. Thanks for joining me.